If you're over 40 and still chasing calorie burn, still checking your watch after every workout to see how many calories you've burnt, we need to have a little chat. So, hey team, a little bit of a story for you here. Back in my early personal training days, I used to teach spin. Well, that's a little bit of a lie. It was actually called RPM, and RPM is basically choreographed to music, but it's still spin. It was part of the Les Mills classes that they did back in the day. And basically, you would have to turn the resistance up on the bike or down on the bike, depending if you're going up a hill or down a hill. Um, Changes in the tempo of the music, all sorts of different things, which was a bit of a nightmare to learn, but that's how they did things, and I think that's how they still do things now. So if you ever a member, or if you ever went to Home's Place back in the day, did any of those classes, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those Les Mills classes were all the rage back then. But anyway, back to RPM. So lots of energy, lots of sweat, lots of puddles on the floor afterwards. Pretty disgusting, really. And to this day, if I hear Don't Call Me Baby by Madison Avenue, if that pops up on the radio, I'm instantly transported back to the bike. Loads of people in front of me, all pedaling away, sweat dripping down their face, dark room, loud music, and legs on fire, heart boom, 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 going like crazy. So good times, you'd think, sort of. Some people used to absolutely hate it. Scarred for life, maybe. But people loved those classes. And to be fair, they were a lot of fun, especially when you get some good music on. Plus, you can burn a lot of calories, which is why a lot of people were going on. That's a big part of this video. Heart rate, again, through the roof. Everyone walked out with their t-shirts soaked and a sense of achievement. They'd done a good workout there, because we all thought the same thing, and and a lot of people still think this now. So the more you sweat, the more sweat you have dripping off you, the better results you're going to get. And that's not necessarily how things work. So it took me a while, actually a few years, because I used to like the metabolic conditioning, the HIIT workouts, tried all sorts of different things over the years. Insanity, and then I think it was one of Sean T's ones, things like that. Um, yeah, Sean T did the Insanity one. Who's the other guy? PX90. And those workouts are great, but not necessarily sustainable. That's another issue for another time. But a lot of people still get caught in that trap. It's like, oh, I need to sweat more. I need to burn more calories. And as I said, it took me a while to kind of get out of this, because when I started to realize I wasn't getting anywhere, I looked elsewhere. Okay, how am I going to get better results? How am I going to transform my body? And I see this with a lot of coach clients initially, people I speak to on LinkedIn. They're motivated, they show up, they put in the work, they're doing HIIT, they're doing spin or Peloton, they're hammering the treadmill. Some are even doing 2 sessions, double what I would be doing, for sure. I train 4 times a week. I know people are training every day, for an hour, 2 hours. It's like you don't need to do that. And yet they're still not getting the results they want. They're not changing. Their bodies are still stuck in the same way. And they start to blame age. They're kind of, okay, I'm over 40 now. Maybe, that's just it. Not much I can do about it. But the truth is, it's not your age. Could be your diet, which could be a big, big part of it, but often it's your approach to your training as well. So here's the mindset shift that you need to adopt. So stop training for the burn, stop checking your watch how many calories you burn, and start training to build strength, build muscle, build a body that's strong, capable, and actually adapts as you get stronger, changes. Now, I know why the burn set mindset is so popular. It's a big marketing tool as well. It feels productive. You get that post-workout high, you see the calorie number on your watch, and you think, yeah, oh, that's a good workout, smashed it, good stuff. But here's the thing. It also keeps people stuck. And I know a lot of people have got Pelotons nowadays, so it's a great example for this one. But while they might be amazing for getting people moving, because any exercise is good exercise in general, but it depends on what your goals are. And so the Peloton exercise classes are all great. They get people moving, and that's definitely a good thing. It's a solid intro into fitness. And if we look at some of the old school classes like Body Pump, and I know Peloton has their own version of weights as well. And that's a decent introduction as well, but it's just a starting point. And those people that are starting out will see big changes initially, and then it will peter off. And there comes a point where you need to realize, okay, I need to graduate. What am I going to do next? What's going to be the next stepping stone? Where do I need to go? And getting out of that mindset of just trying to sweat it up, trying to burn those calories, because you'll get stuck. You'll hit a dead end, and your body won't change. You won't be able to change your body composition. You won't get stronger. So just sweating a lot is not enough at a certain point, and certainly not sustainable when you're going into your 50s, 60s, 70s. So here's again the truth that nobody wants to admit. You don't need to be dripping in sweat to be in great shape. When I'm going to my workouts, doing my lifting weights and things like that, I'm not dripping in sweat. Okay, and I don't need to be. So you need to adapt your training and make sure you're doing it consistently. And for me and a lot of my clients, it's leaning into strength training. You won't burn the same number of calories as I mentioned, especially not compared to 10K run or a spin class or something like that. But it's more sustainable. It works with your body as you age, not against it. And unlike those high intensity classes, you can still do them when you're in your 60s, 70s. You can still lift weights, 80s, 90s. And you want to be able to be, you want to be strong. So if your workouts are leaving you shattered, but not necessarily better, if you're constantly chasing the calorie burn, but not seeing the results that you want, it's time to switch things up. So again, train to build, not to burn. That's where the real progress lives. So let me know what you think. Have you ever fallen into this trap? Do you know people that have fallen into this trap? Um, is there a reason that you always gravitate towards doing those classes or doing cardio? Do you not know what you're doing when it comes to the strength work? Okay, so let me know. More than happy to help you out. More than happy to have a chat. And if you feel you have a different point of view, by all means, share it down below. I'd love to hear from you. All right, that's it for me for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon.